If the video looks crooked, sideways, whatever, it's because it is. Whoever built the house in my room particularly didn't know how to even out, so I always have to mess with my tripod and have one leg a little bit higher than the other or lower than the other to try to even it out, and I'm just over it. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Nicole, and if you are new here, there is a red subscribe button down below. Make sure to click it so you are notified every single time I upload a new video. And today we're going to be doing another book talk, and as you can tell by the title already, no, it is not The Fault in Our Stars. I just like the shirt, so I'm wearing it. Today we are going to be doing The Return. This is the Kingdom Keeper series, and this is the last book in the sequel to the world, the series, I guess you want to call it. Now, this book did come out earlier this year, I believe in March, and we are in September, and I've just been really busy with my personal life, so I hadn't had time to read it. I've actually really haven't read anything much this year besides like Lord of the Shadows and maybe one or two other things. This is probably book number 7 that I read this year, which is really bad because at this point, last year's book challenge for Goodreads, I was probably about on 27, 28, but whatever, I'm getting sidetracked. Like I said, I just recently read this one. I read it within, I would say 2 days during the hurricane, which if you haven't seen those videos, I have 3 other videos on Hurricane Irma that just happened. And yeah, so let's get right into this. Warning, there will be some spoilers. So like I said, we are going to be talking about the Kingdom Keepers series. Now, I started reading the Kingdom Keepers in 2013, 14 more or less. So at that time I wasn't on YouTube doing this type of stuff. I believe I was even taking a break back then from doing the Harry Potter replicas reviews that I used to do on this channel before I did the whole switch over type of thing. So when I started reading the Kingdom Keeper series, I believe it was right when book 7 of the main series was coming out, because I did go to that book release, and all of these books are signed by Ridley Pearson, and I will post a picture somewhere on this screen of me with Ridley. But yes, so I didn't meet him, actually, no, I'm lying. I started reading the series when book 7 was coming out, because this is a hard copy. I met Ridley when the first book of The Return, the sequel, came out, because this one's autographed as well. But overall, for the book series, I did enjoy it. I did read somewhere where now he's coming out with a second sequel, which is supposed to be 20 years in the future after all the keepers themselves are married and have kids, and that's pretty much all I read of the series. I was actually looking to see if they were doing a book 4 for this series, because you know, sometimes they say this is the last book and it ends up being a multiple series like the Mortal Instruments. But overall, I did enjoy it. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one when I say this, that every time I go to a Disney park, I imagine the Kingdom Keepers and certain events that happen during the series on the Kingdom Keepers around the parks. I definitely know in a small world with the little dolls, I always imagine them coming alive and killing me, which does happen. Well, he doesn't get killed, but it does happen. They do come alive in the series, but that's a whole nother different stories. So like I said, I wasn't doing this type of thing when those books were coming out, so I really didn't do book reviews and stuff like that. This book, I will give it a 4 out of 5 stars. The reason why I wanted to book review this is the ending, more or less. Now, throughout the whole series, of the main series, they've always said that whatever you do as a hologram of DHI affects you in your real life body. So okay. So in the main series, if they would get cut or burned or something, they would have the scar on their body. If they something would happen to them as a DHI, it would affect them in the real life. So at the end of this series, spoilers, Finn does get killed. Finn is one of the main characters. Now, I'm kind of upset at the ending, where I'm kind of happy that they all did come back to life. Even the characters that were killed during the main series came back as well. But it doesn't, like, it contradicts each other. If they're saying whatever happens to you as a DHI, it happens to you in your real life whenever you return. So when they brought him back to life, when they finally came back from 1955, he was killed. That means his body should have, like his sleeping body, his real life, should have had some effect as well. Going along with those side effects, it's always said that whatever you do to modify the past will affect you in your present day, the future. Well, since this this series of The Return mostly takes place as them jumping back and time traveling back into time to 1955 when the parks first opened, trying to stop the overtakers from even happening. So, and it does say it here, like once they return, are they going to be friends? Are they going to know each other? When they jump back to present day, which at this time I think it's like 2015 in this book, there's really no side effects, as they still remembered, they were still friends. The only thing that happened was they finally shut down the program forever. So that kind of bothered me, but I mean, the rest of it, kind of glad we got to see different people as well, because as the keepers are in 1955, Maddie is basically becoming a keeper and taking over and helping fight the stuff in Disneyland. I would have definitely liked to see how it would have played out if Finn really was not brought back to life. We saw how he was affected as when Dillard was killed, so it would have been something to see for the other characters, especially the fact that when he was killed, Maddie, I believe it was Maddie, felt like there was something wrong, and then even Joe in the series was like, wait, why can't I feel like there was a fifth keeper, why can't I name the fifth person? They got the fourth. And a lot of characters' point of views were like, why do I feel like I'm missing something? So he did bring it to a point where Finn was killed in the past, so he was wiped out from everybody's memory. But they kind of felt like it, so it kind of like it jumps back and forth and doesn't really make sense, at least to me and how I take it. Again, these are supposed to be kid books, so my mind is a little bit different than what kids would be, I guess you could say, at this point. But that's pretty much it. Have you guys read this series? If you have, let me know what you guys thought about it down below, and what other Disney books you like. I do have The Land of Stories, which I still have to finish the last 3 books that came out in this series, which I haven't read. I kind of waited till they was finally wrapped up, that way I can just read them all back to back, because you know, a lot of us don't like waiting a year in between, but what can we do? Like I said, leave comments down below what book series you want me to review, and until next time, bye guys.